Good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon and a pleasant welcome to Freedom Hub on 87.9. This is the official voice of Freedom Communications Incorporated. My name is Khan Oliver Kine. Alexa is back after a month outside of our studios. Too many things happening in the country. A lot of issues going on across the Republic of Liberia. And of course, we're here to do what we know how to do best on this wonderful, wonderful edition. From the Liberian National Police to the State of the Nation address, from the National Elections Commission in terms of their own policy with reference to voter registration, to the debate of citizens' representation in the government versus development for the community. What are the issues? Who are those, newsmakers that we intend to talk about today? The biggest political gossip, the biggest unconfirmed information we are receiving is that Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings is kneeling down. He's kneeling down with his two hands between his legs, begging Omen Joe Boaka for a space for either an endorsement or to run as vice presidential candidate. The details pending our own independent investigation will be brought to you here on the platform when we will continue to dig deeper into the issues making the news in our country, Liberia. Too many things happening across the country. We're going to be taking a few bars of our theme song. When that is done, we're also going to be playing the wars and having some messages from our official sponsor, Crime Stoppers Liberia. Following that, Alexa and I will rumble into the issues making the news in our country, the Republic of Liberia.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we have seen in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Okay, one peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We're having this technical adjustment. Alexa, good afternoon, my dear. Welcome.
I would like to say good afternoon to you, Oliver, and good day to all of you who are following today's edition of the program Freedom Hub on 87.9 FM. What a wonderful way to be back in studio after a couple of days being out of our studio. And I hope it is safe at about this time to wish all of you a happy new year. I hope I'm not late. So I'd like to say Happy New Year to all of you. And I hope we're all, prepared. And I hope we're all, bracing ourselves for exactly what this year has to offer all of us. But it's good being back after a couple of, moments of being away from the radio. We've listened to a lot of different updates in different corners. We have basically seen some of the different works that are being done across the country as well. So, of course, we're here today to discuss some of the trending issues we have in country. And as we all know, this is 2023. And we have election just a few doors away. So we're going to have a lot of occurrences and reoccurrences. So however way you join us, we'd like to say welcome to Freedom Hub on Freedom Radio Liberia via Facebook and YouTube, as well as via your radio 87.9 FM. Welcome to Freedom Radio Liberia.
Okay, so basically there are too many issues. And again, all of the boards will keep having problem with Mark 2, but we're good. We're good. We're good and back on the radio. There are too many things we're going to be talking about today, Alexa. There is a report on Front Page Africa relative to what appears to be requirements for obtaining voters registration. We are told that people are being told to have national identification card before you can be allowed to do your voter registration. This is just in passing. What's your own, observation about that?
Oliver, I think we had a discussion about this. Of course, it was not a lengthy discussion. We still had to talk about this when we started to actually hear about this in the corridors that of course this will be something that will be one of the requirements, of course, or requirement as part of what will be considered as voter registration when the time is near.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I definitely had a couple of issues with this, and now I still have issues with this, because if we are talking about updating some part of the different policies we have at NEC, I think this is not the right time to do that. Because number one, this is very crucial. And if this is something that was to be considered, I think that it would have been done, better, and it would have been done proactively to have everyone informed prior to just, you have just a year, or you have just a few months to election. Now you're coming to the public to up to the public on, some of the things that will be changed. So what will become of a couple of people who are yet to get their, a national identification card? Because up to now, as much as we have a lot of people who have, gone over there to have their national identification cards,
Mm-hmm.
we still have a couple of people who have not been able to get that. And what more about the passport issue? Because if we're considering this, I guess we're also considering the issue of passport, because that's also one of the things that makes you or qualifies you to be a citizen of a country.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to talk about that, let's talk about people who are in rural Liberia. We have a huge percentage of our population that right now, I guess a lot of people do not even have passports. A lot of people do not even have a national identification card. So this time it is very crucial, Oliver, and we cannot have these drastic changes when we're talking about election just a few doors away. It doesn't make any sense. That means we're going to have a lot of people absent from elections. That means we're going to have a lot of citizens who will not be able to have their, voter registration card or voter card. We're going to have a lot of people who will have to stay away from election. Why? Not because they don't want to vote, but because they have not really, gotten one of the requirements that, is needed to be able to vote. So that is something that I think it will also be taking away the rights of a couple of citizens, because we're talking about people having the right to vote. We're talking about power is inherent in the people. And that's one of the most important aspects whenever we're talking about the right of a citizen. Whenever we're talking about, Oliver has a right, Alexa has a right, people usually focus on basically the right to vote. And that is the most important moment where you have a lot of citizens to go to make, one of the best decisions of their lives, or maybe one of the worst decisions of their life in order to transform their countries. So what will become of citizens who do not have, access to all of these different things that have been named by NEC, just in case there should be a change in policy? What exactly will become of all of these different citizens? That means you'll be taking away the right to vote. That means you will be, denying them access to have any voter registration card or to have a voter card. At the end of the day, we'll also be undermining democracy in another form, because that is something that I think we should have a time frame for it, and people should be prepared mentally, physically for it. And we should also have a different team. So now, if we're going to have a lot of people who will say, okay, we want to consider what our NEC is saying, let's assume we have a lot of people, like thousands of people, right? Thousands of people. If we're going to say people are going to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to have passport, if we're looking at the time frame, for example, if you're getting an ordinary passport, not the one where the process will be expedited, where you're just going to get it in a day. A lot of people wouldn't want to pay $80 to get a passport in a day. No. So you're going to have a lot of ordinary citizens who want to pay $40. Let's assume that maybe they cannot afford it, and some of them will be able to afford. But what is the time frame that you're going to have about maybe 150,000 Liberians to have the passport, like 4 days. So we're going to have 80,000 people to get here today, and everyone has already registered to, have the passport within 4 days. Are you telling me the ministry will be able to issue, passports to 80,000 people within 4 days? I'm not really sure that's possible. So we also have to take all of these different things into consideration. And the same thing goes for, the national identification card. So you're going to have people to be there from the morning hours, because you have some of these ministries, they're going to open from the morning hours to 4 o'clock p.m. So you're not going to have people to have these things within the time frame. So I think right now this is uncalled for, and next should go back to the drawing board and reconsider, because this is not something a lot of people were expecting, as much as people want to see different changes in different sectors based on, how the world is changing day by day. But this is not the moment Liberians are looking to, really having this a drastic change, especially with the crucial moment we have between now to election. That is not something that's going to work. Normally you have some people who are demotivated, Oliver, just to go to get their voting card. You're going to have people to be sitting home like, no, I'm not going to go over there. But then you're going to have some people in the field who will be, advocating like, of course, you have to go to get your card, because you have to play a major part in changing your leaders or maintaining your leaders and all of those things. People are going to do that. So what more about, someone saying, no, some Liberians, right? Like, basically, if you're going to go into different communities, they're going to tell you, if I vote for a person, what is so much, in the simple Liberian English. So people wouldn't want to really go the extra mile just to get a passport or a national identification card, just to get to be able to have a card, a voting card to vote. So I think this is something that should be looked at thoroughly, because if we want to change some of these different things, this is not the moment. And the commissioner at NEC, I don't know whatever discussion they had. I don't know what meeting they had to have really discussed these things and just a test in the public. I don't know if this is a test or not, but I think this is not the right time, and I think they should go back to the drawing board and reconsider all of these different things. If this is something that will be changed, of course it will be embraced, but not now. That is my major problem, Oliver. The same issues I have with this same thing before, these are the same issues I have now. This is not the moment for it, and this is not the time for it. So this is something that should not be even considered. 1%, it should not be considered because people are not ready for that right now. It's very crucial in these critical times.
Okay, so basically, you couldn't have said it more better than how you place it. Just in a minute, the thing is, I just do not understand as to why would the National Elections Commission choose to have people having national identification cards as a prerequisite to having the voter registration card. It doesn't make sense. I'm hopeful that that story that was published by the Front Page Africa yesterday is not true. I'm just hopeful that NEC is not saying so, because if that is the case, then we'll be calling on all of the political parties in the country, from the Unity Party up to the Congress for Democratic Change, by extension the coalition, those in the All Liberian Party, the ANC, the Liberty Party, Prince Johnson's party, MDR, Jawan Gonglo's party, all of the different political parties should get involved, because this is not going to afford Liberians the opportunity to get involved into the process, because you can come up from the blue sky at about this moment and tell people that before you get voter card, you should get national identification card. Let's look at the national identification process. How accessible is that process to the population? Let's look at availability. How many of the facilities we have across the country where people can attain attain not voter, but the NRR. We don't have most of the places. Right here in Monserrado, you got to go to Congo Town. And even when your card is lost or missing, you want to have it replaced. It's a difficult thing. There are many occasions where people went to the place and they had to tell them, go come out 2-3 weeks, system down. You don't have the facility. Don't do something that will cause too many issues, too many challenges to the process. So it's a good thing to want to have a biometric system, which is correct. We can still have that biometric system introduced, with the voter registration card. People are going to have their fingerprints, taken. Their details are going to be provided, but this NRR requirement is not appropriate, because even if Liberians decide to do it, the National Identification Registry as an institution does not in any way, appears to be any institution that will have that capacity. I mean, they don't have that capacity to do it. They don't have the logistic. They don't have the facilities to do so, and so it is not anything we want to rush into. Don't bring too many. We know you want to make the thing so standard, you want to do whatever the case, but don't try it, because it is not going to help. Our poor people who are in the hinterland, they do not have access to NRR sites. They do not have access to places where they can get national identification cards. They do not have access to those places. Our people all the way, even in Monserrado, people do not have it. And like Alessa said, there is this thing about voter fatigue. People are so tired sometimes to go to do elections, to go to register to vote. So we're going to be begging people to go do voter registration at the same time begging them to go do national identification registry. It's complicated. Mind you, to get the national ID, there is a financial requirement. It is about $5 to have the national identification card. Are we going to be telling citizens to pay $5 to go and do it? Obviously, Liberian are going to tell you, to hell with that thing. I'm forced to vote. I'm going to pay $5 to get national ID. Then I turn around. I go to stay in line to register to vote. For representative who will not do this for me, this and that. So those kind of statements, when you do that, you push people away from the process, and that is going to be disenfranchising a particular segment of the Liberian population, especially those who are in the vulnerable part of the country. Those who are residing in the slums, those who are not that educated. You're also going to be having a lot of the first time voters who will be deprived of the opportunity to register and be a part of the process because they may now have the patience. They may not have the courage enough, to go through the process of waiting for NIR, card to be obtained. Then later on, you go stand in line for voter registration card. They don't have all of that.
You can just imagine.
If NEC wanted this to be a mandatory, requirement, if this was something that, NEC would say it is compulsory, then what NEC should have done, like Alexa told us, a few minutes ago, was to start this conversation at about this time last year. So how you introduce this discussion by the May, or the 15th of January 2022, we would have taken the entire year as a country and people to create the awareness, to encourage Liberians who are of voting age to go to obtain their national identification card, so that we spend the entire 2022 getting all of our national identification information, regularized. That in this year, there is not going to be double headache. All we're going to be doing this year is to go and get our voter registration. It is a good idea to want to ensure that those who will have voter cards are Liberians, but at the same time, the way you do it is what we are questioning, and for you to just abruptly come up with this issue, I mean, it is devastating. We don't want to encourage it because it is a recipe for chaos. I mean, we're not going to mince our words on it. It is a recipe because when you deprive people of what they want to do, how many people be in the country who don't have that ability, to put $5 on the ground to do registration? Have you asked yourself why everybody in the country ain't got national ID? It's because people just don't. There are people who see it as irrelevant to put $5 down to go do national ID, except there is a serious contract that they have or some kind of document they need that national ID is a requirement. In this case, where it's going to be simultaneously done across the country, where voter registration is going to be ongoing, I don't think it is good that we make it a mandatory situation. So please, Madam Director Brown Lasana, there are other ways we can verify whether people are Liberians. NEC has been using that form for the past time. It's good. We are transitioning to the biometric era. It is still possible that you use your same old ways to identify and do the verification as to whether this person is a Liberian. And there will be political party agents at the different voter registration centers. People are going to be there from the different political institutions to do their own verification as to whether those who are registering are legitimate citizens of our country. So when that process is done and exhausted, maybe in 2024, we can announce that, hey, after these elections in October, any day NEC is going to be organizing any election to be a legitimate, a voter. You should have a national ID. Then you'll find people taking it upon themselves by themselves using their own timeline to go and get it. You could also have organizations, that are interested in having people to express themselves democratically. They could also come up with their NGO sponsorship to say, look, once you don't have this ID, come to us, we're going to sponsor it, we're going to pay for it. You could have those kind of interventions done, but to wait for this kind of time, I don't think it is appropriate, and that decision should be rejected by the political institutions. Alexa, we got to take calls on it.
Exactly. This is untimely, and people can't afford to really have this to be done, to be concluded entirely. So, I mean, we hope you go back to your drawing boards and, see what is possible, because this is something that, in fact, it should not even be considered. Like, it should not even be considered, because if that is the case, then, like Oliver said, we'll be having a couple of chaotic moments, because we know exactly what, happens on a daily basis, especially when we're talking about politics and, people's interests. So I really hope this will be looked into, and it can be really handled at a point where people would really want to focus on that, because if this is done, that means people who are in rural Liberia, imagine, right? There are folks who live here in Montserrado. They're not in Monrovia, but they're in Montserrado. Like they're unable to even have access to a national identification card as well as passport or whatever. So what more about people who are in River G, people who are in Lofa County, people who are in Grangeda? So you can just sit back and try to imagine all of the different political subdivisions we have. how do you expect people to have access to these things? People are not going to do it. And this is something that will not be embraced. So it has to be rejected. It needs to be rejected.
Okay. So we're going to be listening to our people. We're going to be listening to the listeners. At about this moment, you can call us. We will make room for about 10 callers. When we come back from taking calls, as we speak, Mr. Cummings is on his knees. This is an unconfirmed information we are receiving, and it is near truth. Near confirmation. But trust me, where we got this information from is not far from the actual happenings. He's on his feet and will tell you exactly why it is happening the way it is happening. But join us on this conversation as to what NEC intends to do. We've made our position known and clear to you, and let us know what do you think about it. So if you're there, we are here. The numbers are 086-500-104. We take few calls up to 4:45. We take our break. When we come back, we talk other political issues confronting the Republic. 886-500-104, 776-104-104 are the numbers to join the conversation. For those of you outside of Liberia, you can join us on +231 886-500-104. +231 886-500-104 to be a part of today's conversation here on 87.9. Let's take the first person. Good afternoon. Your name and where do you join us from?
I'm calling from Bonafam.
Calling from where?
From Bonafam Market.
Bonafam. Go ahead from Bonafam. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, I just tried to tell the National Election Commission and the director branch she don't want to allow resign. Because it's very common for a later to impose that kind of law at this hour. And how many things you find that does not have to do with the can or if I go, way back over when will they get into the whole election?
Okay, perfect.
The later talk coming up.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We leave you. Let's take this other person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Augustine calling from Kirisburg.
Go ahead, Augustine from Kirisburg. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I just followed the program. I think we had a set precedent. I think I'm in support of that decision. So if you people say that that is wrong, we still have time to win nationwide.
Do you know when voter registration is commencing?
Yeah, I follow during the final.
When is voter registration starting?
According to the information given, they had to do 5 counties first, then.
I said when is voter registration starting? I did not ask you how many counties are doing first.
No, we're starting June.
Oh, we're starting June. You are not starting no voter registration June. You are not starting June. We are told the first 5 counties will be done beginning March. When do you have time to do national identification registry all across the country?
Yeah, but it's not too late. But we can find it. But to say
no. We leave you right there. Let's take this other person. Hello, 1 minute. Go ahead. Hello. Okay, we leave that person. Let's take this one quickly. No time.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon, my brother. Let's hear you.
Thank you. This is Hilton with Jedo. Allah, the people defender joining from Local Town.
Go ahead, Hilton. 1 minute.
Thank you for bringing this issue to the public. For some of okay, we have the rules. What NEC has written. Hello?
Go ahead.
If the place of okay, at this time, like you are saying, March, the registration will commence. So if you want somebody to have birth certificate, passport, or the national identification card, when you expect people to have it, okay, let me show you our national leaders, more especially those legislators, the 15 senators and the 17 law representatives. If they want to be re-elected, they have to speedily seize the issue because the issue they have the proclivity to bring confusion in this country.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We leave you. Let's take this person. Go ahead. Caller on the international line.
Yeah, hi, okay. This is Emmanuel Payne calling from the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
New Jersey.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you see, this is what happened with Liberia. That's why we're backwards in everything. If you have an election this year, understand? I think a photo registration ID card, birth certificate should be sometimes 1 year grace period.
Thank
One
you.
citizen will be a lot of money to be a fool to do that. But you can't look it for referendum, right? They say they couldn't accept the referendum because it was too short. The time period was too short for the people to vote on the referendum. They say, how can you expect to get money to go save birth care? As the car, the time is too short. I don't think we should go by that. I don't think so.
Thank you.
Thank you for your topic.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother. Let's leave you and take more of the calls. Oh my God. Let's take this person quickly. No time. Let's hear you.
Hello, okay.
Go ahead, ma'am. Let's hear you. Go ahead, ma'am. Quickly.
Okay, I want to say thank you for your talking point this afternoon. You see, okay, I don't know what are everything we want to do with politics because I believe what the people want to do is for politics. How will you look at a short time? Then you say you want people more care? They are seriously ID card. How will you do that? They're supposed to do it earlier. They're coming to go in the village, they don't have money, they take their ID card free, they will come to be better. But now people say they not get money. Then you want people to take it. They're trying to go vote. Then you say they person not get ID card, so they pay their ID card. They want you leading the country to. You will lead the country to disaster because many people will be sad. It will not be for fun at the end of the day. People will say you won't see the election. So now the people, the election commission, we take you up. We don't want problem in the country the same way we dare doing it, they will do it the same way. We take it. Everybody not get money. Even for now, people who get money say you are there. They are often sad. Even the representative, the senator, whosoever asking somebody not even get that card. Don't have money. They have don't have money.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And let's leave you right there. Yes. Just so you know, we're going to be taking some calls up to 4:45. Then we transition into another hardcore conversation. Let's take this person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Okay, how you doing, Baba?
We're great.
Okay, this is Marcus Donald Queen calling from New Georgia.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Let me say this to the government and the woman, Latana Brown woman. She shouldn't play for us in this country. We don't want problem if they want to do this. Let them have Liberians. Pay for the voting card for and pay for offsetting Adika, and they can't do so. They should be
No. The voter's card is free. What we don't know is the issue of the National Identification Registry.
So everything for everything as a beginner in the voter registration card, then the other one be aside as to take everything together. But if they can't do it, they try anything. We will protest and this. We don't want them to do whatever that. Let us not brown. We want it for her. She will not say the best for voting. We here for it. I want to see her. So she listening to her. Maybe tomorrow I want voting today. We here for the other one. So we are reporting that show. Tell for culture and they want dick all of you. She wants dick all of you. Thank you for having me, my son. Okay.
Thank you very much. Your daughter Alexa is also back. We leave you right here. We're going to take more of the calls here on 87.9. This person, go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, Oliver.
Let's hear you, ma'am.
This is now what they're calling for New Jersey National Response Team.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they see where this national brand. Me, I trust that woman. And I trust that woman. That's what I want breaking. That's a big problem in this country here. We not get money. Every day people crying. No money. So I want money to go save national ID card before you go to. All our problem when they begin to start discussing at this last year or year before last. Now what you come in election more before they start bringing that thing. We don't want problem here. We don't want that for say that we have to break election. That we have to do all with election. So they do that thing there. That go to our that message something. We don't here for insurance ID card. We should do that thing I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we leave you right there. Let's take more of the calls. 5 more minutes, of course. This other person. Your name, where do you join us from? Quickly.
I say go no man, yeah, come from Bond County.
Bond County. What part of Bond County?
Issue
Go ahead from Bond County. Let's hear you, sir.
the issue here is that I'm not think the people want for us to vote. For me, I'm a disabled person. I tell my children they can send them to school. I not get time to even take vote at me, sending ID card. So I not think the people really want for all to vote in the bureaucracy because I would not even get any office for sending ID card in a place here.
That's the point.
When expecting us to go to get sending ID card before we get them being a part of the voting process.
That is the issue, my brother.
I think they're joking. They're joking. So
I know the name we come with cooking the Germany. The name will tell the Liberian people.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's leave you right there. And that's what we are asking the Liberian people. This person, your name and where you join us from? You got to make some adjustment. You are coming in broken.
Okay.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Go ahead.
Yeah. All the issues on the first one, you know, the advent of place, because we know we are going to
Oh no, you are not clear at all. Let's take this question. Go ahead. 1 minute.
okay.
Let's hear you, ma'am. Go ahead.
My name is calling from Broadview.
Broadville, let's hear you.
Yeah, when they want for the vote, they will get there. You go out of one city in Broadview, and I even say, I accidentally can't shut you. They have to tell us what the registration to vote in for my right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's leave you right there. And I like the reception from the Liberian people. This is how people respond when you are not adequately prepared for a particular situation. This person, go ahead. 1 minute.
Yeah, come and hear Lawrence. We're calling from Carwell, New Jersey.
Go ahead, Lawrence. Let's hear you.
Yeah, come. People shouldn't be problem to her. Even said the government take initiative to pay for a national ID card. When everybody will not be able to get it, we have to go to the rural area. Even that most of our here for people to get it difficult.
Oh yeah.
This time everybody crying for money. You just expect what to go take $5 and go put it behind national ID card before going for voter registration. That idea is not cool. Then they go back to the trade boy thing about what they will do the best. Because no one problem in the country. If we try it, that National Election Commission on their office, it will not be easy.
No, you're not charging people office. Already they don't want pin the place. You know
that was
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you force more Ali in neck issue. What kind of boy? Yeah. Let's take this person. 1 minute. Go ahead. Good afternoon, my brother. Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Isaac Wuzin. I join you from the Convention of QOK.
1 minute, Isaac.
Yeah, you know, the idea that the National Election Commission brought is a good idea, but it's not at the appointed time because of we are close to election. We have first time photos. Some of us that will be voting for our first time. We don't have facility or we don't have the money to go to that place and get our photos, our citizen ID card. So we'll be to partake in this election our first time. So we are asking upon the National Election Commission for to take back her vote, her saying, and let look up to 2024, 2025, and we have re-elect our president, and then instead of our regime, then we can bring all the idea. We always support it, and if anyone that will be able to go by it, it will be upon your own legacy. And thank you for having me this afternoon.
We'll leave you right there, my brother. Let's take let's have the callers at 2 minutes on this issue. It appears to be very critical.
No, but it is a critical issue.
Yeah, let's take this person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Okay, this is Abenigo Newton. I do join from Sophie Community.
Sophie Community, Abenigo. Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Okay, let me say thank to you, Judo, okay for your program and your whole co-host.
Mm-hmm.
I think the suggestions of the election commissions more than the other brand, I think for this time is very limited. I think the best thing she should all do now is to put the agendas to make the lab people to go back as usual to what they used to do to take the national ID, the usual ID, so that they can go to the electoral activities. But for to suggest some idea that everybody should be compared to have the national identification card before that which can be happening, I think it's unfair that particular idea is deflate and she will reconsider what should happen for the best suited way for election to be held in the country. Thank you for the time.
Okay, Newton, are you a global man?
Pure global man, specifically on Yahoo man from Jiritabo.
Yahoo man from Jiritabo. Kill a bit and offend it. Okay. Okay, Alexa, if you laugh, I'll suspend you. We'll leave you right. Let's take this other person. Go ahead, 1 minute. Pa, we are talking about. Let's hear you, Pap.
Okay, please do me a favor. Place a call for the communication team that next. Then you will get a fax. Thank you.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
okay.
They already have had the story in the papers, the Front Page
That's why we're
Africa
hoping that
reporter
the
it.
story is not
And so
true.
yeah, we are lifting it to get the views of Liberians, because if what is written in the papers, Front Page Africa is exactly what NEC is bent on doing, then I'm not too sure we're gonna have a process. Trust me, it is not gonna be a good thing. Yeah, it is not gonna be a good thing. My people, there are 2 minute calls, but
Yeah, we
please
can just squeeze in
let's just squeeze in
maybe
the
2
last
to 3.
6.
Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
let's take the last
We're gonna
6.
go with
Yeah,
6.
because of the pressure on this discussion. Let's take the last 6, beginning with this one. Your name and where do you join us from?
Yeah,
Quickly. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Logan
Logan Town, go ahead, man.
concerning about the net issue here, because since yesterday I've been listening to it. Small can bring problem in this country because they're not, it took a very full what ever since she never talk. She never speak on it ever since.
That's the problem.
That everybody has the money to go and get a citizen ID card.
Thank you.
But it bring problems for us in this country because that thing that when she on her own.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from Logan Town. From Logan Town, we go to the United States of America. Let's take this person. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Oliver, let's how you doing?
We are great.
Hey, I want to go advocate. Yeah, I know we're talking about national ID card, and I know the government did like a long time ago for to put together on national ID. So my question will be to you to Liberia consider the election commission consider people to register for the October 10th, we should have it by then. I know we don't have
hello, Mr. Ambrose Calon from the US. When you even do that, you're going to make the situation worse, because people will go home with the cards. They will forget to go and do national ID. At the very day of voting, they will go there and want to insist that they vote because they have the voter's card. So all we are saying is that if NEC knew that this was a requirement that they had under their sleeves, they should have informed the people of our country, maybe in January of 2022 or perhaps October of 2021, and say, look, before you get voter registration card in 2023, say we in 2021 or we in 2022, make sure between now to voter registration time, you will get a national ID. I know people are suffering, but we can still find means to get beer money. We can find means to get other money. People would start saving to get a $5 and get the national identification card. Besides that, there are limited facilities around the country where people can go and get national identification cards. So to come up with such a law is going to be a difficult thing. NRR only got one station in Monserrado, only one place in Monrovia you can find national identification card. Only one place in Monserrado. Think about the rest of the other counties. So this is not a good policy, my brother.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you. And thank you for advocating for the poor people, man.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambrose Calon from the United States. Alexa, we have 5 more to go, right? Yeah, 5 more calls to go. Let's take this other one. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Leave your radio. 24th Street. Please leave your radio. Go ahead.
My radio is off.
Okay. Go ahead now.
This election commissioner chairman is a very good professional.
Today is the third day of July.
Establishment. This woman, she has a hidden agenda. There's no majority of the supporters at the masses. You're bringing in such a technical issue for voter registration. Are you seeing the 9,000 supporters from not going to the polls? Now, why is actually the intention of the exercise? And the CBC establishment, they're looking at the kind of information. They should put stuff on that in media. And secondly, talk about
we'll reach the comment situation later on, my brother. Let's leave you right there. There is an international caller. Let's take you. You are the third caller, chair of the 6. Go ahead.
Hello, okay. Hello, Alexa. How you doing?
We're great. We're doing good.
Okay. This is Sam. I call from Iowa.
Iowa, the United States.
Yes. The pronouncement made by the NEC at this time, I don't think is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
This time is too short this time is not the right time. That should have been done since last year or from the beginning of last year, having known that only one area or office they have for national identification card.
Sure.
You cannot come up at this time to do such where you know you only have one office and you know you don't even have the resources to do that.
The motive is sinister.
Oliver, you can remember once there was rumor that the lady in question, Madam Deviator Brown Lasana, said she would give a pronouncement of the election results in the American embassy. I hope this is not the trend she's taking because this has a propensity to create chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be smart. We need to be very smart. When people are taking certain action, we need to be very smart. I don't know why the president still keeping the lady over there. She keep blundering and keep blundering.
We'll leave you right there, my brother. From Iowa, let's take the last 3 callers from the Republic of Liberia. If there are 3 callers left, let's take this first person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Oliver. Let me say good evening to you. Let me say welcome back in the radio. Let me say good evening to everyone.
Okay.
This topic is very unique. You know, this one to happen on the sensitive issues. I say that happening. I think they're trying to deny the Liberian people their constitutional right to vote. I think the next have to rethink. It is unacceptable. When I say, you know how many thousands of Liberians actually have the national ID? They're trying the same thing. I'm to introduce the national ID card. I think it is very late. Very late, Oliver. I think the English government, these politicians, they have to promise, they have to tell the next that it's not happening. That's nothing. It's not good. It's not in the interest of the people. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for calling. Let's take okay, I think we're gonna have a
let's try to take the okay, let's take this person. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Yeah, IVM calling from the office of the President for the Association.
You
get information from inside. That's not true. He play right into the propaganda of the opposition. He just making mistake. You keep running with the story. That's what the guy didn't want you to do. And you're buying it. So you stop that thing. That's true. I get coffee information that not true.
Are you reputable than the newspaper that posted the story? We'll leave you right there. Yeah, and so yeah, that's all we could do about this conversation. Now let's say this to you. When you go to the front page of the Front Page Africa newspaper, they reported this, and up to this moment, there is no rebuttal from the National Elections Commission as to whether the story is from them or not. So it shows that Front Page Africa is saying exactly what they learned. Let me try and bring you. Let me try and bring you that story. Okay. Yes. So yes. So the National Elections Commission, we just got the intel. The National Elections Commission is going to have a press conference very soon, according to what I just got tip off. The National Elections Commission is going to do a press statement to provide clarity. But beforehand, this is what Front Page Africa posted. They said voters required to use national identification cards to obtain biometric voter cards for the year's general and for this year's general and presidential elections. And the bold headline on that story, on that front page said, millions may not vote in October elections. This is what was posted by Front Page Africa. When you look on the stream, for those of you who are watching us live, you will see the newspaper from Front Page Africa. And so, yes, so that was what they wrote. And it is the reason why we thought to flag it, because our job is to see things happening from a distance and raise it so that solutions can be, derived at. So as we were lifting this conversation, Alexa, as we were lifting this conversation, we got a very clear signal from the National Elections Commission that was not the intent of NEC as being reported by Front Page Africa. But NEC said they will do another press, they will have a press conference to provide the clarity. Alexa Neg is saying, if you go to register, according to what this intel is telling me, say if you go to register and the people questioning you, maybe you're speaking some kind of English and looking like Togolese or Ghanaian. No, Grebo is Liberian. Don't do that. If you're speaking something that is not from around here, or your physical appearance, it doesn't in any way, resemble a Liberian or whatever the case, then they will ask you to present one of the national documents, either your passport, your national identification card, or your birth certificate. In the event where you are not, when they're suspecting that you are not really a Liberian, then that's when they're going to ask you to present one of those national documents.
I mean, that is like unnecessary.
If that is the case, then it is good.
Of course.
Right? Then it is good. But if it was the way Front Page Africa posted, which is very clear, and I just read it to you, this is what Front Page Africa wrote yesterday. If that is the case, that's why we're raising the alarm, so that NEC will come and provide the clarity. In these kind of situations, communication is highly important. And that's why when we do not understand anything, we use these two microphones, we blow it out, then you will come and make the clarity. I mean, is it a bad thing to do?
Of course not.
No.
I mean, that's one of the reasons I said earlier on when this issue was also flagged, we had our own fair share of, opinions as to what we really thought about it back then. And of course, now, since we saw that on Front Page Africa newspaper, we also needed to, talk about this as well, because this is something that is very crucial. And I think one of the major issues we have is the fact that we have a couple of Liberians who do not really understand certain things, and that is based on how gullible our society is. So it was very important for us to, talk about this and, just explain exactly what we actually think should be, considered and what should not be considered. So, I mean, thank God we've already gotten a clear intel as to what is the case and, what should be done. But if that is the case, I mean, that is something very normal, because whenever we have folks who are basically not Liberians, or people who do not look Liberians based on exactly how a typical Liberian should look, I mean, at a point, it calls for, some of those legal documents to prove that, of course, you are a citizen and you have the right to vote. So it is very important, and we'll also look forward to, the National Election Commission, convening the press conference to, clarify all of these different things. And we're already in 2023. So we have a lot of these different things that will be all over the country. So whenever we have these things, on different newspapers or on different radio stations, it is always important to have clarity, because if that is not done, you're going to have people to have their own narratives as well as their own interpretations. And at the end of the day, that will be something that will not really be good for the country. So we hope this will be done proactively, and then we can have the communication team at NEC to be on top of the games in terms of, disseminating information and clarifying all of these different, things that will be in newspapers and on the radio.
Okay. So so that's the essence of communication. Like Alessa said, when you get information, let it out. So it's good. It's good that it was a child's play. It's good that Front Page Africa is on a, either Front Page Africa did not get it clear, or maybe maybe Front Page 2 got it clear, and because of the public outcry and the updates they are getting, it's not favorable. So maybe they say, okay, now how we tell Front Page Africa, and like you're saying, Alexa, go eat the food. I tell you to go eat our food to the house. So you went to take the food, the puppy catch you. Who's saying yeah? He said that Uncle Oliver. Oliver, you don't want to say it. I said, no, yeah. I said, let her go and take the food from on the ground and put it up so ants can get inside. Yeah, and I said, don't hear me good. I didn't tell her to eat it, but I tell her to take it from on the ground and put it up so ants can get inside. These things can happen. So it's good that when we hear it, look, anything we hear in the country, we understand it, we put it outside. Our job,
I mean, it is important to be on the spotlight for people to listen, and people who are supposed to work on it to really get, a clear understanding as to how this has gone way too far with our people understanding. So it is important just in case we don't understand anything, we're definitely going to be on this radio and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to have the public opinions as to what they make of it. So in that note, on that note, we're going to have people who are supposed to make us to understand, to listen, and of course they're going to make us to understand, clarify.
Okay, so Abraham Ducle is in Claratown. I'm told he's a Fula Liberian. Yeah, he's a Fula Liberian, by the way. And Abraham should be. Abu, please call us after the song to explain to us what this song is all about. But a lady called Mariaman So Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, did this song. She's a Fula lady. A Fula Liberian. She did the song, and it is in honor of the president, as the president is going to be having his supporters to gather, number one, on next week Monday up Capitol Hill, as he's going to be delivering his last State of the Nation address for his first term of office, and at the same time on February 4, when Liberians across the country, predominantly seditionists, will be re-petitioning him for the elections in 2023. So Mariaman So Johnson did this song in Fula in support of the president. I am not a Fula man. Alexa, are you a Fula lady?
No,
do you
but
understand
the song is
Fula?
very nice.
No,
I don't understand what is said in the song.
Uh-huh.
We hope to have someone to interpret, but it's a nice song.
Yeah,
That's why I can say I'm not Fula.
After the song, Abraham Ducle should please call. Una Abraham Ducle or any Fula person should call to interpret at least one or two lines in the song. Let us know what the lady is saying so that we can play something that we don't know here. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's true. So we can play something.
Someone said whenever you have a request
Mhm.
for someone to pray for you, make sure you listen to every word that person is going to say, so you can be aware
Of
what is being
they're praying for.
offered in that prayer.
Oh, yeah.
Or else someone will pray against you in your presence and you're not going to understand. So it is important to have someone to interpret this song.
Yeah,
Or else we didn't know what is being played. It might sound very nice, but
Yeah.
we have to know
So
the meaning.
Abraham Ducle is from Claratown and he supports the president. So I'm not too sure Abraham will listen to batting and say otherwise. So Abraham, after we finish playing the song, please call us. If you're listening, Abraham, please call us. Abraham Ducle. If you're listening, please call us right after we are done playing the song. Call us and do the interpretation. Then we move to the next conversation here. Good afternoon to my own big brother, Joseph Tar Williams, the man
Hello, Joseph.
the man who building the hydro.
REA. Hope you're doing
Yeah,
okay.
the man who building the hydro at Baloman Town in Masabolahun District, Lofa County. Let's listen to the song and be right back.
Amanda Awetu, Amanda Awetu, Maipuye, Ilibelia, Maipuye, Aose, Aose,
Kupata, Diamankata, Reo Tampata, Magiti Satata, Remo Tampata, Audi Mankata, Ege Fotata, Bandi Jindata, Gara Anata, Opon Perdata, Oi, Okankaliba Maki. Sukar kanyono weli jenjoni Opo hida jodi Anda hida seli Andi ko ame woli Ele ko ame subi Beremba wama Golendi Opo lamike yo lamike Jasmine lamike yo lamike Georgie lamike Georgia lamike Georgie lamike Yande ngolibe
George Weah, our president, he's the best. Since spiritual power. Things are never be the same. Good electricity, self-driven word. Afro condition. Georgia, we are our nation pride. The Florida love you.
Oh, Lamike, oh, Lamike. Church my Lamike, oh, Lamike. Church Lamike, church we are Lamike. Church Lamike, yande ngolinde. Kurang kupata, diamakata.
Okay, so Alexa, what's the impression about this song?
Okay, so
I can't understand it.
you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Quick wiggle.
no.
Church Lamike, church we are Lamike. Church Lamike, yande ngolinde. Open Lamike, yo, Lamike. Just money Lamike, yo, Lamike. Judge Lamike, Judge we are Lamike. Judge Lamike, yalten golide. Kurang kupata, diamankata, reo betampata, makiti satata.
All right, so we're told on February 4,
Audi makata,
Georgia supporters will be gathering in Monrovia. Oh yeah. So my man Abraham Ducliffe from Claratown, you can call us now and tell us exactly what's the meaning of this song. What is the interpretation? Okay, so we have Abraham Ducliffe on the line. Abraham Ducliffe, you listen to the song, Abraham.
I want to replay our music because our music is very, 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 very fantastic.
We will replay the music, but you got to tell us what's the meaning, Abraham.
Thank you. I will put it in the way that everybody can understand, right?
Uh-huh.
Thank you. The woman said, George Weah, he will be elected as president.
Okay.
Number one. Okay. The second, the woman said, hey, you know, Suko, you understand Suko, right?
Football?
You know how Suko sweet.
Sugar.
Thank you, Suko. Yeah, I won't put it in the way that everybody can understand.
Mm-hmm.
The woman said, Suko already saying that is literally worrying. Okay.
Oh, the
woman said
the sugar already setting down at the latency remaining.
Okay, no, that is literally worrying me, little worrying because
okay. Okay, so the woman said the sugar already setting down in the cup that the latency worrying.
Thank you.
Wow.
The woman said. The woman said.
So that the opposite
can go up. The woman said foreign can go, water can go. All the African people being president, we are. So the woman said so many good things about the president. I'm just one for the stand up to me because that music is very sweet and very nice.
I must send the music to you.
Yeah, send it to me. I even want to make contact with that woman. I really want to see that woman good. I want to tell her thank you. I want to appreciate the woman very well.
Okay.
The woman very good. His song is very nice.
Okay, so
I get remixed.
So
remixed song because they sing song in that guy who came in the recent that they are opposition for Guinea.
Uh-huh.
They see the same music for him, but the same music the woman trying to replay.
Okay. So the main line in the song is that the sugar already sitting down at latency worrying.
Sugar already sitting down at the latency worrying because you can't do little without putting sugar inside.
Okay.
So the woman said, I mean, a president where you will be re-elected, orange can go, water can go. That one is so okay. George Lamike, George Weah Lamike. Me orange can go up.
Okay.
Bandi, Gindata, me they will not be hijacking people the way you used to be doing in the party town.
Oh, we leave you right there. Thank you very much. Thank you, AB Ducliffe. Thank you very much for that clarity.
Amanda Awetu. Maipuye. Ilibelia. Maipuye. Aose. Aose.
Omo lamike yo, lamike. Judgment lamike yo, lamike. Judge lamike, judge me lamike. Judge lamike, yande ngolide. Open lamike yo, lamike. Judgment lamike yo, lamike. Judge lamike, judge we are lamike. Judge lamike, yande ngolide. Kuran kupata, diamankata, reo de tampata, magiti satata, remo tampata, audi mankata, ege fotata, bandi jindata.
Radio, by all accounts, is the fastest way to get information anywhere, anytime. Get all the information you want from that radio station.
Kokangaliba maki. Sukar kanyono wele jenjoni.
Information.
Opo hida jodi. Anda hida seli. Andi ko ame woli. Bele ko ame subi. Bere mbawo ma golendi.
Okay, all right. So that's exactly what it is. I didn't know that Fula people can do singing like this.
So
the guy said, "Sugar, no worry. Let don't you worry." Huh? Is that? Oh my God! Wow. So this is.
Things are never be the same. Good electricity.
Okay, so Ebi do yeah. What is it? What is it?
Hello?
Go ahead quickly. One.
Thank you. One more thing again, Georgia will never lose the election. Otherwise, Georgie Pence that if we are Georgia will never lose the election.
Okay.
Again, he said, okay, the woman also said everybody will join the president and helping to face the country. So I said, Georgie Lamike.
Okay.
Georgie Lamike, Josuya Lamike.
So Lamike mean let's face the country.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now why the woman saying the woman said Georgia will never lose. Why Georgie Pence that influence they say President you will never lose.
Okay.
You will never lose the election. Yeah, that's why the woman saying. No, I think no the music so no, I ain't no none is the plan, none we are dancing horrible.
We leave it right there. We got to go to our discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you. Alexa.
Everybody wants to be.
Yeah, Everett Dugle. Every Dugle want to dance. I'm sending the song to you, Everett Dugle. And if you want this full song, contact me on my WhatsApp. Those of you who already have it. If you don't have my number, start praying. Start fasting and praying, to get it. Oh my God! Wow. So yeah. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, but I mean, let's take the song down. We rest more, then we come back on the main conversation. Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, Sukar kanyono wele jenjoni. Opo hida jodi. Anda hida seli. Andi ko ame woli, bele ko ame subi, bere mbawo ma golendi le. Opo lamike yo, lamike, judgment lamike yo, lamike, judge lamike, judge we are lamike, judge lamike, yande ngolide.
When your radio sounds better, it's gotta be Freedom 87.9 FM.
Yes. Says the king, angel power. Things are never be the same. Good electricity. Safe drinking water. That's a local picture. Georgia, we are old school. Our nation proud.
We got it all. Freedom FM.
Opo lamike yo, lamike, judgment lamike yo, lamike, judge Lamike, George, we are Lamike, George Lamike, Yanden Bolide. Kurang kupata, diamakata, reo tampata, magiti satata, remo tampata, audi makata, ege fochata, bandi jindata, clara anata, arosakata.
This song is dedicated to our beloved president, His Excellency Dr. George Weah. The message from the Fula governor: we love you.
I received. Listen, I have received over 30 messages. 30 messages. I'm not going to show the names. I received over 30 messages. Please send me the song. And everybody, Alyssa, everybody is asking for. Well, we're gonna leave that. Once you've asked me, trust me, I will send you the song. Yeah, I will send you the song. We'll give the song to Ibrahim Kamara as well, Baby Boy. Yeah. So when you know Baby Boy number 2, ask him. He will give you the song as well. Yeah, he's gonna do so. But he's not. I say again. I don't even know how to do the second segment of the show.
No, you know, Abraham badly wants to be a part of this song.
Oh yeah,
because he called at first,
and
then he interpreted the song, and then he called again.
Call back again.
Wait, I forget for one more thing. La parole c'est Anike Emis.
Anike?
I don't know what I can say about.
Osela Anike. The only thing I know in Fula, I don't know anything in Fula.
Abraham Ducle, don't worry. We already know the lady who did the song.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do everything possible to see if we can get her on. Not today.
Yeah.
But we're gonna work that out to see what's possible.
Maybe we can host her.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying.
She's gonna teach us Fula for some moment.
I mean, she did well with the song. And before we could even, know the meaning of the song, I mean, it sounded,
we're already
pleasant.
vibing
It
to
sounded
it.
pleasant to our ears.
Vibing to
And
it,
we couldn't wait to understand exactly what are, the different wordings, what the different wordings mean, in English. And thank you to Abraham Dukley for definitely calling us and telling us, the meaning of the song. We appreciate that. And it's a nice song.
Yeah.
So we're going to send this song to all of you who are requesting to have the song.
Sure.
We're going to leave the song also with the Jing Jong Master, the new guy. Yeah, we're going to leave that with him as well. And if you have his number, he's going to, send you, this song as well. But I don't know what to say next. Yeah,
we go to the next discussion.
But the song is nice.
That's
really nice.
That's all we can do. Okay, so excuse me. Listen, I'm having issues. I'm having issues with my throat.
Don't worry, you'll be okay.
Yeah, but I need. Let me take some water. Yeah. Let me take some water. But while we do that, I think we need to play. Yeah, let me take some water. Yeah, let me take some water.
Georgie Lamike, Yalten Goliden, Kurang Kupata, Diamankata, Reo Tampata, Magiti Satata, Remo Tampata, Audi Makata, Ege Fochata, Bandi Jindata, Clara Anata, Open Perdata, Oi,
Okay, all right. So I'm sure Baby Boy is going to play the song when we leave here. They're going to add it to the log. It's a wonderful song, especially is the fact that it is a Fulani song.
It's going to promote diversity.
Yeah, you know.
So that would be nice.
The only fool I can remember when I was coming up.
Whatever, it's okay.
In Plebo. No, but you get with now.
No, as long as it's there, you can remember when you're coming up.
No, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I gotta say the fool on the radio. My neighbors were Fulanese in Plebo. Those who know me very well know that. And whenever the papi want to flog the children, the papi, they can call the father Babi. Whenever the papi want to flog the children, they call the old man, the mother, nene, So when they want to flog the children, the papi go all kind and say, hey, Achu means stop. The next thing he said, "Me yali ma ben pinta Johnny none."
What is that?
If you try, I will beat you. And you understand it, forget about it.
No, April, they will call later after the show to make me understand that, because I don't believe Oliver. Trust me, I don't.
In not two of us in
I don't believe Oliver.
in that verification situation. But yeah. So then I say, me yari ma ben pinta Johnny. None. Yeah. So that's why it is. But again, we are back and. Okay. Just hold on. I'm trying to make this a technical adjustment. Now, so there is this thing happening in the country that we want to be very clear about. You know, the former vice president, Mr. Boakai, is currently taking treatment in the United States, and there are folks from his party who are bent on informing us that the Pape went there for for business engagement or whatever the case. We are not concerned about that anymore. What we were able to learn between day before yesterday and today is the fact that Mr. Alex Cummings of the Alternative National Congress is trying to explore new opportunities given the uncertain conditions of the old man's sickness. This is very, very troubling. This is very, very troubling. We are told that Mr. Cummings has reached out to old man Joe Boakai, and he's doing that through some members of the ANC Global chapter. Now, there are two options they are putting forth to old man Joe Boakai. Two options. Yeah, this is kind of fluctuating, but it's okay. It's okay. So option number one, Mr. Cummings is trying to see if he can swallow his shame. And these are informations we're going to be verifying very soon. We are nearing completion. We are at the level where we will be able to 100% confirm what we are saying. So at the moment, we are told that Mr. Cummings has decided to swallow up all of the shame and say, look, you know what, although we've been in the CPP thing, I carry the court, you carry the court, I cuss you, you cuss me, we say all of the nasty things about one another. But the mere fact that we are from the two teams, team 1, team 2, and we are against the winning team, it shows that we would need and we will have to put our differences aside, irrespective of whatever we've said to one another, and see if we can smoke the last peace pipe. So through some of his colleagues from the ANC Global, they were able to reach out to old man Joe Boakai on two counts. Number one, they are intending to talk to the old man to forget about whatever thing the ANC people may have said about him, whatever insults and whatever situation, and for old man Joe to consider Cummings as the vice running mate, so that there will be a JNB and Alexander Cummings ticket. That's number one. And this condition is on the basis of the doctor's medical report and advice. Now, if the doctor in America would tell Omen JNB that, oh, Pape, they play what the signal reach now, they think, well, we treat you like this. The biggest thing we can do for you now is to just make you to be strong, small. But when you go back to the country, don't put yourself under any pressure. Don't do anything that will create serious problem for you, that will put you under unnecessary stress. Don't do it. So, option number one of the ANC Global Representatives' request to JNB is predicated on what the doctor's advice will be to the former vice president. So if the doctor would say, Pape, don't contest. I mean, don't put yourself under any stress. Election is stressful. And if JMB is willing to listen to that advice, then automatically the team from Cummings camp will be requesting Omen JMB to endorse Cummings and not to endorse any other person for the presidency. I want you to get this clear. The team from Atlanta, Georgia, that went to meet Omen Joe Barker, they went with two different conversations. Number one, they went to pre-engage the Omen. That Omen, if your doctor say, don't do anything high again, don't get involved with any high issue, then please, we're here to talk to you, to forgive us. Whatever we have said wrong to you, anything your men to not say about us, whatever we say you less sleeping, or your men say our man struggling with lifestyle, whatever the situation, any bad thing we not say to one another team, we were here for us to smoke the peace pipe and say sorry. If your doctors will say, you're not supposed to do anything tough again, then please endorse us. Please put your blessing on us for us to contest. Because our job, whether we from team 1 or team 2, is to ensure that the winning team of 2017 is not re-elected. Now, if the doctors will say, Pape, we already managed, we recharge the thing, and you're strong now, you can make it, you can do any political thing, you can pass in any bullshit, you can go get any car, you can run around the country, nothing will happen to you. If that is the case, then Pape, we beg you. Although we said nasty things to one another, but please consider selecting Mr. Cummings as the running mate. And there is a key reason why this latest move is being done. The ANC people are denying it on social media. The United Party people, some of them are angry with the fact that Cummings people were able to go to meet Omen Joe Barker. They are so pissed off. Some of them are pissed off. Some of them are welcoming it. But there is a serious point of contention at the moment. So the guys are saying, why are they coming to us now? Why are they trying to negotiate? Why are they trying to buy in time when we've already had some negotiations on the way? When Yomdi Kanga Lawrence is being tipped to be the vice running mate to Joe Mbaka, why are they coming up to us now when they all were messed up? I mean, they messed this thing up. They were cussing us how we, the Joe Mbaka people, our Pape can sleep. And, and we got vets who were telling them, say, that men too struggling from a lifestyle. Why did they have to wait for this thing to spoil, to reach to this level before coming to us? That is the point of contention. But there is only one reason that I see from all of what's happening. And like we always told you on this platform, when we say these things, don't panic. Don't put yourself under any pressure. Save it. At the appropriate time, it will cash itself. Take it to the bank. If you don't want to take it to Representative Grace Bank, no problem. But take it to any bank of your choice. When we say it, take it to the bank. So the game plan is, Cummings has realized, there is something about truth. And the late Valai Dole, peace to his ashes, he will always say to us that the numbers are stubborn. The stacks of elections in this country are not things that you can compromise. No, you can compromise with the statistics. You can do it. You can do that. Mr. Yeah, okay. Mr. Cummings has realized that the entire elections in this country, in terms of the statistics, that when you go to do survey across the country, when you ask every 10 Liberians, who do you think will win 2023 elections? In some instances, four of the number of the individuals you will find in that number will tell you George Weah. Sometimes 4 of them will tell you Joe Barker. Maybe 3 will tell you, sometimes 4 of them will tell you Weah, 3 tell you Joe Barker, or 4 will tell you Joe Barker, 3 tell you Weah. Maybe 1 will kind of say Tier 1 Gonglo, the other 1 Cummings, and sometimes, as Tier 1 0, Cummings 1, Tier 1 2, Cummings 0. I mean, it's like that. Cummings is always falling in place number 3 when people are doing pre-electoral survey across the country. So he has realized that all the whole, big show thing about CPP, Musa Belede here and there, the other one, he has realized that it is adding no political data to him. He has realized that moving all across the country to lobby for sanctions, do the other stuff across the world, do all of the international public relations and propaganda expenditure is no longer adding up because the dividends, he's not attaining it on the ground. So he's trying to exploit the unhealthy condition of the old man. In this situation, they are willing to swallow all of their pride, willing to swallow everything they've had, all of the bitterness they've encountered. They say, look, you know why? The Baba is aging. There is no point in fighting here when the people of Liberia are divided over two candidates. If it is either George Weah is being re-elected, or maybe by some unfortunate situation, Joe Baka is going to get elected. I'm nowhere close to the data. I'm nowhere close to the decision of the Liberian people. So the best thing is, since the Baba is already sick, what we need to do is to reach out. And so Mr. Cummings was able to reach out to Mr. Joe Baka before the Omen could depart and presented a little over $30,000 to Omen Joe Baka as his own contribution. Mind you, Equator won't paving the way. So the folks went to the US and got involved with that conversation. Now, whatever the real intent is, for me, I see this as an attempt to want to ride on the old man's vulnerability. Baka is not vulnerable like, people who are poor or in a very, very impoverished, situation. But he's aging, he's already old. His health is not as good as it should be. He's almost 83. So Cummings is feeling like, if I play the fool right now, and there is something to call play the fool to gain wisdom. Yeah, if I play the fool right now and tell you, oh, Papa, sorry, my children say you can sleep. They tell all tell about foolish thing about you, sorry, I wrong you. All your men who are telling me, say, I'm struggling with lifestyle too, I forgive them, I don't get issue with it. But let's work together, bygone be bygone. I will provide the money, you provide the number, let's go to the process, let's go challenge we are, let's go see what we can beat we are when we beat him. The end result is he's aware that in the most unlikely situation, a Cummings and Bwaka ticket is going to surface as the winner against President Weah and Joel Taylor. Cummings is aware that having a party like CDC in opposition, for example, with a president like Joe Baka, who is already having some health issues, may not take the vice president up to 3 years to really save the country because the pressure will be too much to the extent where the unlikely could happen. There is not anybody's prayer. But that is the calculation of the folks from the ANC. They say, look, Cummings, this is the surest way for you to ascend to the Liberian presidency. When you bring your Coca-Cola, sugar water money, and the Papa bring his numbers from FOIA and other places and try to rally the other members of Team One who are so desperate to go back to power, we can swallow all of our bitter pills. We can manage to coexist. We can manage to tolerate one another, even though we do not like the things we say about each other. Even though we can say the Papa can sleep anywhere he said that he can sleep. Even though a man can say anywhere we're struggling with lifestyle, but we can bury all of these things and just go to the process and get the numbers. That is what is of greater importance. So in the spirit of this, our intel is informing us that the Cummings guys are better doing it. But what they've chosen to do is to keep this information from the rest of the political parties because there are members of Team Cummings who are totally against this decision. They don't want it to happen. In their opinion, they don't want anything less than Cummings being the presidential figure. Anything that will subject Cummings to a second place is not in their matrix. For the folks in the Unity Party, they think that Joe Baka is overly popular, to allow, himself to surrender to a Cummings or to endorse a Cummings who has insulted them, through his surrogates over the period. So it's a technical situation. They're still grumbling with it, but we've arrested that information from the very embryo stage, and we thought to blow it out. Why are we intending to do so? We're doing it because we want to give Liberians a fair understanding of what could be for them on the day of decision making. The guys are telling the Papa, if the doctor say you'll be strong, then please carry us as vice running mate to you. Drop Yombly, drop Ure. carry us. We wrong you. We're having Beamer. We accept mayor or vice president. And they're saying mayor or vice president because they are aware that it is possible the paper may not last longer when he's president because the stress will already add up. Like we're already looking at this. He made Joe Biden president. He put CDC in opposition. Just imagine the stress. So Cummings guys are advising him that this is the clearest way to become president because everywhere we go, that 2 person new will keep hearing you're not coming. So the easier way to go to that process is to do the shortcut. Now, if the doctor say you will not be able to run, then Papa, don't endorse anybody. Don't go say you're endorsing Tewan. Just bring your support to us. We'll make you our campaign manager. Then what will happen? You'll record something that's going to messages, some messages, and we'll be playing it. We'll go to places. If you're not strong enough to go on the campaign trail, you can record message. We'll go anywhere. We'll put it on the PA system. We'll play it. The people hear it. Those are the conversations people are having. Now, why are you doing it? Why is it happening? Has desperation gone to the level of allowing people to subject themselves to those kind of arrangement? It's unfortunate. But the folks who gave us all of the intel we have, they promised to continue to release a lot of it. But trust me, the $30,000 I received from ANC leader to Mr. Bwaka, only I think about 3 to 4 individuals around Ome Joe Bwaka is aware. I bet you all the young guys, they are not even aware because they would have gotten angry had the Omen disclosed to them that Cummings get them mad. They would have gotten angry because they just don't want to have anything to do with Mr. Cummings. They hate to see Cummings anywhere. They don't want to see that. Even this conversation, there are folks in Atlanta, Georgia, and other part of the states, in Texas and other places, who do not have any, they just don't want to have anything to do with Ome Joe Bwaka. So they are so angry. As we speak, that is what's going on. That is the deal that is happening in America. So if sooner or later you get to understand that Cummings is not in the country, he's gone there to add his voice to the situation. Whichever way it's going to be, don't be surprised to see a JMB Cummings ticket, or don't be surprised to see JMB returning to Liberia and saying, I may not be able to run. And so for the sake of opposition unity, let's support this person. Don't be surprised. Anything is possible at the moment because they are having too many political cards. But as we are suspecting the cards, as we'll be receiving signal of those cards being displayed, we will continue to advance the discussion. We'll continue to have all of the conversations. But trust me, it is going to become so politically complicated in the future because Yombi is not going to accept anything like that. She's going to get mad. Benina Yue is not taking Bwaka all around the place. His daughter Tilia not taking Bwaka all around the place. His son Costa ain't causing all the noise all over the place, to just sit down as one cabinet minister. He too want to be vice president. So there will be a lot of complicated situations based on the negotiations that is currently ongoing. So brace yourself. There's a political conversational platform, and we will keep giving you all of the political speculations, the political rumors, and all of the things you need to know about what's happening in 2023. By tomorrow, we're going to be getting, deeply involved with the politics of appointing people from a county versus developing the county. So which one is appropriate? To get 50 Marylanders appointed or to have a lot of projects being in Maryland County executed by the government? Which one is appropriate? Those are conversations we're going to be having tomorrow. But as we speak, that's where we are, Alexa. Quickly, then maybe we can squeeze our last batch of calls and we go home.
I remember the other day, Oliver, I was telling someone, you have to brace yourself for exactly the different news you will, or have to listen to in 2023. Brace yourself for, breakaways, for coming together, and just brace yourself for whatever that will be in the corridor. And I was not really far from saying that. And just by, having all of these different conversations now, it is clear that a lot of different things are happening with people having different intentions, with people having, different motives. And this is just as a result of exactly what they stand to benefit at a point in time. Because I remember clearly when we had a discussion about, we had a discussion where we were saying we're not encouraging the fact that this person is unhealthy, so it is good. No, because we all are humans, and at a point, One person will be sick and one person will be well. So you never tell what happens at a certain point in time. But we have to get ready for all of these different things. And Oliver, I remember you said something about if care is not taken, these people want to take advantage of old man Joe Boakai and they want to use him at that point where, he's not really healthy just because they want to get back in power and do exactly what they want to do. You said that a couple of times. And people who understood exactly what was said, of course, they took that in good faith. And people who were insensitive enough, they really thought we're trying to make fun of the old man because he's old and he's unhealthy at a point. Because they did not really, get the concept in which you spoke at that point. And here we are. Everything that was said, everything that was talked about, here we are, and these same conversations are ongoing at about this time, just prior to the forthcoming elections we have. So you can imagine to what extent we have all of these, people to go. Because just a few months ago, Oliver, we had Cummings here, and his folks are having different discussions and trying to say things about Joe Boakai. And just a few weeks ago, we also have folks from Joe Boakai also saying things to Cummings. So one of the things that I think is very crucial at this moment, people should be aware of these different conversations, because these conversations are not brought to the public openly. No. And that is because they don't want you to know exactly what has been discussed behind, closed doors. They don't want you to know the different, intentions they have, and, who stands to benefit what, and how many people are to, go into this certain group just to benefit certain things. But here we are. And these people right now are doing whatever that is possible to take advantage of this old man's health at about this time. They're not doing it because they care about Joe Boakai. No, that's not because they care about Joe Boakai. If that was the case, then ever since something else was going to be discussed, and they would have advised him to, take precaution as to what should be done to, reduce the pressure as to what to be done in order to, have yourself to be healthy. Because whenever you have pressure a lot on you, Oliver, even young people right now, with the different things that are happening, people encounter stress on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
And now talk about someone who, has some sort of complication, and at the end of the day, stress is not something that should be your friend. So just imagine, right now, we're just a few doors away from the general elections. And people have already realized what would be the case of Joe Boakai, just in case. That is not something we're praying for. Like I said, like, everyone gets sick. Even a young person, of course, a young person gets sick. An old person gets sick. But just in case something happens, something drastic happens, these people are already trying to fill in that gap to be able to benefit something that they will not be able to achieve on their own.
So, Alexa, before we go to the lines quickly, I'm being tipped, and we told you would give all of the information, right? There is a meeting that's supposed to be held between the team from Atlanta, Georgia, and the Unity Party Diaspora Network on the East Coast of the United States. So that meeting is expected to be held on Sunday of this week. So this week, Sunday, they are supposed to be meeting. And trust me, the bad thing about it, I know the men are coming start looking among themselves to know who's doing it. But somebody in the midst of all of this thing is giving us the tip. We'll give you the number. If they don't change the plan as we're saying it, we'll give you the room number. If not, we'll give you the how you call this thing, the lobby number, which lobby they're going to use, whether it is one hotel lobby. We'll tell you the exact location of where this conversation is going to be held between the East Coast chapter of JNB and the team from Atlanta, Georgia, into the negotiation between the two folks. So we'll give you all of the details. I just got all of the information. The guy says Sunday that conversation is going to be happening. Let's wrap up, then we take calls, Alexa.
So you guys should not be worried about who is trying to give us some of the different tips. Don't worry about that. We have our own ways of maneuvering and getting all of these different pieces of information. But all we're saying to you, Liberians have to be aware of the different motives that these people have under their sleeves. So I think we have to brace ourselves for, like Oliver was saying, we don't know exactly what we have on the ballot paper. Like we don't know from the opposition angle for the Rudy establishment. Like, I mean, that is something that has already
No,
been
we already
said,
know that Joe
of course,
and Weah.
and President Weah.
Sure.
Of course, we already know about that, but you have to brace yourselves for exactly what you will see, just in case, because right now that there's confusion and people don't know who will be selected and who will not be selected. That's all I can say.
Okay, so we will we'll take a break. The guy said all of the information, including pictures, will be sent. He will send pictures. And I just hope, as I'm saying this thing, I just hope we're not making a mistake. We sort of say the thing, right? They might, they might change their mind in having a meeting. But
Whatever happens,
Yeah.
we're still going to get information,
okay.
and that is one thing that they don't have control over.
Yeah. So the guy said, if possible, pictures and all will be presented. But let's take the last batch of calls on today. Then we'll return on tomorrow and give you additional information as we'll keep receiving them. Let's take this question. Go ahead. What's your name? Where do you join us from? Hello. Hello. Are you getting us? Oh my God, we missed out on that person. Let's take this one. Go ahead. Let's hear you. 1 minute. Good evening, my brother. Quickly, no time for a 2-minute intro.
Yeah, thanks. This is David King. I do join you from my resident this evening.
Go ahead, David.
We know that whatever people do, it without you any result. Because can't we know the words for words coming from the camp of Comey, coming from Joe Biden camp.
But they are aware. They are aware that they used to cause one another, and they just do not care about it anymore. They want to put it.
And there's something I want to say here. Because on this small talk, I have heard Dr. Richardson and that of Mariah having to be the chief of staff of Comey. She has said, well, all that has happened, if Mr. Comey there go back to Joe Biden, he finished with Comey because character is something that people work over time to build. If somebody come and drag your character in the mud, you go in there with that person for whatever reason. I think you are just shown that you are not man of integrity, meaning you don't know yourself. That's why you carry yourself so low for whatever reason. Mr. Comey, about all you want to go back to Joe Biden, she's done with this.
But that is just one person. That is just one person.
Yeah, that is one person. But I mean, you don't know how many person have similar view.
Okay,
like Mariah.
so let's keep watching.
So they can put whatever team together. There will be a flock by President George Weah. Nothing can stop us.
We leave you right there. Thank you. Let's take this international caller. Go ahead. What's your name? Where do you join us from in the States?
Okay, this is Wellington from New Jersey.
Wellington from New Jersey. Go ahead, Wellington.
Wellington Yadolo.
Okay, Madison Yadolo. Go ahead.
This is phase 2 of the disorganization of the opposition in Liberia. Phase 1 was the breaking down of the 4 political parties in CPP. Phase 2 is Joe Biden to make a decision to accept Alexander Comey to be a running mate. What will lead that to normally Kangan Lauren will get away from that group where a other few groups that make up the so-called CPP of Baka. And Benina Ure, who doesn't want to see the ground Alexander Comey is working on. Benina Ure, you guys know that it was Benina Ure who sued Alexander Comey for tampering with a CPP agreement. So what that will lead Benina Ure to is getting away from that so-called opposition collaboration. So it's a tough decision for Waka, and I don't see it working easily.
Okay.
I don't see it working.
Okay.
If they happen, they just get a clear way for President. We have 1 round victory without even going to 7 rounds.
Okay, that's how you see it. Let's leave you right there and take this other person. Go ahead. What's your name? Where do you join us from? Go ahead.
I want to say thank you again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me tell you something, my son. All the opposition, they let them put together. They let them get the majority, assistant Senate Bureau, the city Senate Bureau, the secretary Senate Bureau, 2023 power education. President William Williams, the country is wow. So now you be
It is not possible. It depends on the money and other things that will be promised during the negotiation. You can never tell. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's your opinion. 865-104-776-104-104 are the numbers. Let's take this other person. What is your name? Where do you join us from, sir?
Good evening, KOK.
Good evening.
This is calling from Salala District, Bon County, to be specific.
Salala, Bon County, Central Liberia. Let's hear you from Salala District, Bon County. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you very much for the show.
Okay.
I'm one of the silent listeners of your show.
Thank you.
But it is something that prompted me. That's why I decided to call.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, and also Happy New Year to you and Alessa. Yeah, KOK, with all things are possible. I don't care what the opposition do. I don't care what they do. Once God had destined that George Weah will be elected for the second term, my brother, let's hope and pray. Again, I want to tell you that a lady from this side of church, she have a prophecy. She said that when some of us call, we should please tell you people to tell President Weah his convoy. President Weah can.
Okay, so yeah, please call the religious advisor to the president and give that. Once it is about prophecy, try and get the religious advisor's number. Let's take this person quickly. 1 minute.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Chief.
This is the voice of Thomas M. Savo.
1 minute, Thomas.
Member of Mopao, and I'm calling from the most sacrificed of the in the York community.
Go ahead.
I think it would be better let all the parties that John. Because it would be an easy route. And in fact, for me and Joe Baga John, before 12 o'clock, Tuesday in October, we are already won. That means, President, we are already winning the election. Because Kumi, there will be a lot of deputy chairmen. People that young people that will not support Kumi, why Kumi support Kumi and Baga together? Yuri, why would be Yuri? Why would be people that Musa Pelete and all the people who been with Kumi in the struggle? Why about young people and why been with Baga in the struggle? So at the end, they will get all slapped into it, and I will be too happy. I just bring to them. I will start every day. I will not in class for now. I will not get until 12 o'clock. My father until they join. If they join, there's a easy route for us.
But may we leave you? Let's take the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Okay, this is Marcy again on the line. Unless I agree with my daughter. Hello. Yeah. What would you say to Alexander Kumi, your uncle? Okay, I think that your uncle be Alexander Kumi. I'm going to advise.
Just yeah, I'm getting ready on the show.
Now you get ready to the show. Maybe don't say nothing. Get ready to the man, your uncle. I want you to advise that man, Alexander Kumi, advise Alexander Kumi. Let's get money, break it.
But what is the wrong thing in his supporters allegedly trying to negotiate with Omen Joe Baga for a slot? Anything bad inside?
So go what? Bad president or bad what? Or Senate bearer. The man was coming here, being a quarter, coffee the last time you wrote. He get figure document, he get figure document, and it makes it way beyond. Even that fast he said that for that way the country. That game will get advanced to me. Tell your uncle, oh yeah, and then you have your year. That game for a Bible, you know, a man to man. So when they get back and be back, tell him what they say they know. Thank you for having me again.
Wow. Yeah, Man Sisi. Thank you very much. Man Sisi is done. Let's take this other woman. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Hello, KOK.
Go ahead, quickly.
Ma Orito Do, the president friend, name of the response. KOK, Kumi just see Baga coming down, I think get carry power. I was thinking. But they say, that the same thing Baga did when you go down early. They say early we're going to die. Baga going to take all each given factory, all the kids people that were busy being the voter for early. That they say at the end, he and Kumi, so Baga said Baga coming to dance in the Jeffira. Or you lie, like them on John. 2023 were big then. We promised them 2023 were big then. Because they get anything to show Liberian people. They don't get anything. What did they do for Liberian people or which Liberian people will vote for them? So 2023, President, we are like, I want you to see President, we are not lay our role. President, we are not doing everything for us today. And instead of one job, me and one job, we'll be there. Thank you.
We leave you right there. Let's take this other person on the line. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Ma'am. Come on to Papa Johnsonville.
Johnsonville, go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Alaska. Yeah, thank you plenty to Coco water in our house. But my sister, we already win. That no convention we're waiting for. February 4.
You think so?
February 4. February 4 when we're going to ATL. I know why they see that ATL or maybe they want to go to SKD. But it will tell the people no government, no ballet, what are opposition, who position, Gail. No ballet going to take that seat unless President we are down finish. That was a down finish. We'll finish with the people. That document is signed. Or approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much from Johnsonville. Let's see if we can take this international caller. Where do you join us from, my dear? Hello? The international caller.
You have to be audible.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay. This is Samuel. I'll call you. I do Joey from Dubai.
Dubai. Samuel from Dubai.
The UAE.
Let's hear you from the UAE. Go ahead.
Yeah, my man. I just want to tell you guys, thank you for the information given back home to our people. And I understand that this thing was going to happen because I even discussed it within our chat room. Face the issue, I discussed it that this thing was going to happen. Exactly because this Alexander Kume is too desperate for power. And someone desperate for power, that what can happen. So the only advice I get for our Liberian people here is that they need to look between the land. Because someone who desperate for power like this, they can do any other thing to the country. Yes, because can you imagine some time ago you guys came together and what happened, what not happened, and everybody there go that turn their back, and now Alexander going back on the ground to what? No. But thank you for the information.
Okay.
I just pray for that, bro.
Thank you very much, my brother. Let's take this person on the line. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
My name is Eric. I live on the Pole Road.
Go ahead, Eric.
The thing I'm here to do is the union, if as we can see with the music party and the Dankumi, it's a waste of political resources. They have no reason, they have nothing to hear at the end of the day because it doesn't happen no more. Even our affair when I saw it.
Oh my God, you left the line. It is terrible. It is terrible on your part. You left the line. We did not get you off. Let's take the last two callers. Then we call it a day. Let's take this person. Go ahead.
Yeah, how are you, Jesus Emmanuel Richardson, and I joined the conversation from Overcast.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Thanks. I listened to your analysis. It just spoke to me in Nigeria that people can do anything because of power. People can accept anything. Even you kill the mother, only because of power they can accept it. For me, I can't really imagine a Kumi going to Bwaka in the building, to run a bad running mate. Honestly, because with everything people said about Kumi from the Unity Party, I can't imagine why it targeted that particular teacher, what moral that teacher will have, to come to Nigerian people. When you people say all kinds of things, the very people say that Kumi is a criminal, Kumi is a criminal, they say all kinds of things about Kumi, and we have all this recording. So, but we're not deterred. Kumi and Bwaka and Kumi can die any way, in any form and manner, President, we will defeat the state.
Okay, thank you very much. We leave you right there. Let's take this international caller. Go ahead quickly. You are the last.
Okay, how are you doing?
We are great. What's your name? Where you join us from, sir?
Happy New Year to you and Sarah. My name is Cyrus, calling from Asia.
Go ahead, Cyrus.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I've listened to you, okay. The problem with our opposition people is that they are in the country that they are doing one development, like even the Liberian people in local and say, oh yes, if the government fail to do this, opposition doing this. Then what they think the opposition can show to Liberian people that will make Liberian to be interested in what they are going to give, then I campaign messages. So they just stop putting ourselves what president we are. For me, I'm out of Liberia. I'm seeing what president we I keep doing for Liberians and even international. So Yake got the glory for 2023 October 10. That brand should all register and go and vote for the President George Weah. Thank you, KOK.
We leave you from Asia, and yes, that's what we're gonna do. We are gonna take our break to return on tomorrow. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Alexa, let's go home. Maybe this person has been on this line.
Yeah, an
Quickly,
exception.
1 minute.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. This is my state time, member of the Intellectual Alliance of Liberia, calling for two community.
30 seconds.
Yeah, can let me appreciate this even for the show. I really disappointed in Kumis. He really brought he said no to Pwaka to he said he want to go.
But what is wrong? What is wrong in Kumis negotiating?
It's wrong for the fact Pwaka said Pwaka accusing before that he finger the freeware document. And even Pwaka Kumis has money more than even Pwaka. So he should stay on his ground for Pwaka.
Why if the people want to reconcile? That your business.
You know that Pwaka.
That your business.
42 years in power.
That your business.
So now he shouldn't bring himself low, even if they go as fast, because we say beat there comes October 10. Thank you for the opportunity.
We leave you right there. Alexa, we got to go home.
Well,
we're out of time.
We're going to be back here tomorrow with another presentation of the program Freedom Hub on 87.9 FM. Do have yourselves a pleasant evening.
Okay. Until we return on tomorrow, which is the midweek edition. My name is Kai. Until we return, it is going to be a wonderful, wonderful one here on 87.9. Keep tuned. On tomorrow, we're going to be looking into this conversation. It is a debate now. If you're in Johnsonville, do you prefer for the president? We say in George Weah, about any president, you prefer for the president to appoint 3 chairmen from Johnsonville to make them minister, deputy ministers, or for the president to carry quota to Johnsonville? Which one you appreciate? That's the conversation on tomorrow. If you're from Bokonjide in Sino County, do you prefer for the president to have a vocational institution built, some great project built in Sino County, or to appoint sons and daughters from Sino? Which one do you prefer? If you're from Jedetabo in Plibo, Maryland County, do you prefer for the president to appoint 2-3 sons and daughters from Jedetabo, or to take some developmental projects to Jedetabo? Keep thinking about it. That conversation is going to be kicking up on tomorrow, right here on Freedom FM 87.9.
He's the best.